Hello again. I thought since I have just taken my GS to get it MOT'd for the 4th time since I've had it, that I would actually do a review on it. Just to clarify, it did pass the MOT, no advisories, so clean slate yet again. But I thought since I've actually had it for 4 years now, I would do a review about like how it is to live with, things to look out for and so on and so forth. Just to advise any of us out there that are planning on buying a GS or out like that, because they're a great little bike and they're cheap. And to be honest, in my eyes, I can actually see them becoming a classic. And it'll be one of those classics where one day it's not and the next day it is and everybody's trying to buy one. I know a lot of people disagree with that now, but 20 years down the line they might not. Which hopefully I'll still have this by then, because I get very attached to my motorbikes and I'm not willing to sell it. So anyway, with further ado, I shall get on with the review. So, how would I actually sum up my GS in a couple of words? Well, bloody brilliant. I've had no trouble. I've owned it for 4 years now and I've had not a single bit of trouble. It's just been faultless. The twin cylinder engine, it's a 180 degree crank, double overhead cams, 2 valves per cylinder. It's just a dream. It's got ample amounts of torque and it'll just pull all day and it'll get you to a 3-finger number, no problem, on the speed sticks, and it'll do 0-60 in 5 seconds. This one will. I don't know about stock ones, but this is slightly tuned, as you all know. The only thing I did was replace the stainless steel, I replaced the original exhaust for a stainless steel one, just because the original exhaust is 1, sounds crap, and 2, it rusts like nobody's business. It's basically a battle you're going to lose, because it just rusts very quickly. So I got rid of that and changed it for this one before it became a problem. And this system sounds nice, I'm sorry, but twin bikes do have a nice rumble to them, and this one definitely does. And I also replaced the airbox with a lunchbox filter system from K&N, and I've also got the little breather here which would originally end up in the airbox, but that had to go. And I've got a set of Iridium plugs on there just because, well, you don't have to change them as much as a normal spark plug, and supposedly gives you a cleaner combustion, but I think that's a bit hearsay, but they've worked good for me. Basically, the only problem, and one that I have not had because I am very anal with the cleaning of all my bikes, is rust. Now, normally with the GS500 and most Suzukis, you will find you will rust on the rear swing arm because it basically hasn't been protected properly, and there's just a fable with Suzukis. But basically all the gunk off the rear tyre ends up collecting in this area here, and all the salt, all the road gunk just starts to eat away at the swing arms and all the parts at the rear here. It should really have an extended mudguard going down here, or even a rear hugger, which I know some people have done just to protect it, but because every time I clean my bike I get in here and get all the gunk out, it's kind of not set in, which is a good thing. And as you can see, basically all this bike is rust free, just because I'm that anal with it. I don't know what else to really say. They're easy to, you can maintain them yourself, you can service them yourself. It's not like a new bike. This bike's 13-year-old, it's still got CV carburetors on, but if something goes wrong, I would say 8 out of 10 times you can fix it yourself. You don't have to be a savvy mechanic to work on them. It does help if you're a savvy mechanic because you can work on them well, but you don't really need that much know-how because everything is just straight at hand. I've had this bike in bits and put it back together within a couple of hours when I'm doing basically the carburation, stripping them out and stuff. It's just such a nice bike to work on. This bike is also very comfortable. Me being a short arse, I'm only 5'6", I can sit on it pretty well, and my feet are both on the floor solidly. And also because I do take my girlfriend on a lot of bike rides with me when I go out with Suzuki's Owners Club or so on and so forth. And this bike has no trouble actually doing 2-up. It just feels like you haven't got anybody on. The only thing that you really notice is the handling's a bit more slow and wallowy, but other than that it's great. The engine doesn't hick, it's just get on, go. I'm not going to complain. Miles per gallon, you'll get a good 55 miles to gallon to the tank. I've done 100 and it's not really about 130 miles you've got in the tank before you get on reserve with this bike. I don't know if a stock one will do any more because it's not tuned, because I know this is running rich just because I like this bike running rich. It's got a bit more grunt. What else? Parts are cheap if you need to swap anything out. It's basically just go on eBay, get something for a couple of quid, put it on, and get a full engine for less than 100 quid for parts if you wanted it. It's just, oh. Put it this way, it's a great little bike, and it's just a shame there isn't more of them around, because to be honest, I'm finding these rarer and rarer to actually see out on the road. In the last year I've only seen around about 5 or 6, and even that's at full rallies, and I really do think this will become a modern classic in its own right, just because people normally use them, abuse them and chuck them away straight after, which to be honest isn't fair, because the design dates back from the 1970s. This actually originated from the GS250 and the GS500, and then that evolved into this, which basically the engine is basically the same, it's just got bigger bores on it and pistons. But yeah, overall I'll give this bike a good 9 out of 10. Just like I say, watch out for the rust spots, keep it clean and you'll have no trouble. And keep it regularly serviced, because a regularly serviced bike is a happy bike. And I'll also give you another tip. If you're not into cleaning your bikes, try and get out of that habit, because when you clean your bike you learn what the bike is or what it's doing. Because if you clean the bike and you notice something like the tyre's slightly flat, or you've got a bit of weeping in the brake lines or something like that, the bike tells you when you clean. But if you just ignore it, you'll go out one day, it'll break down or something like that. I'm a good believer in, if you treat the bike well, it'll treat you well. I know people are just going, well, that's bloody silly, you know. It's an inanimate object, it doesn't care if you clean it or not, but it's true. If you keep it in good working order, it'll take care of you. And I do have a lot of faith when it comes to that, so it's the philosophy I live by with all my bikes and my cars. But that's basically it. Good little bike. Yeah. So going from the 2000s up into modern day with all these wind turbines coming from my super secret testing facility just outside of Durham. I shall see you around. Safe riding, because it's a nice sunny week, so hopefully everybody be getting out on the bikes. I will when in between work. So yeah, keep safe, and I shall see you soon.